Hello, my name is Chloe. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you my March TBR. So I'm not sure if this is the first video you will see, but it is the first video I'm filming in front of my new setup, and I'm just so happy to be doing this. It looks like jumbled chaos, and that is the point. It's not jumbled chaos, it's all organized very specifically, but I just wanted more of like a library, used, worn feel to it than my structured by size organization, if that makes sense. So I haven't yet finished the decorations. That is to come. A lot of my things are still in boxes, so I need to be getting that out and organizing. But so far this is what we're looking at, and I'm really liking it, and I hope you guys do too. So with that being said, this is hopefully going to be a pretty easy video for me to film because it's my March TBR. I have a few reading plans, and I'm also going to be taking part in one readathon. That readathon is the final book support group, which I'll be doing a separate TBR video closer to the time of the readathon. The only books I'm going to show you are ones I'm going to be dedicated to read, and then I am hoping, fingers crossed, I will have some time to mood read in March. I don't think it's going to happen because I have a few books hanging over from February going into March. A lot of things I have to read, including like live show chats and a review I have to do. If I find any time, I will mood read. So I won't beat around the bush. The first book I need to read is the Chloe's Crime Scene Corner pick for this month, which is All These Bodies by Kendara Blake. This is a YA horror and it's quite short, so I think it's going to be quite a quick read. I did talk about this in the announcement video for Chloe's Crime Scene Corner, so I will link that down in the description if you've not checked it out already. But all the information you would need regarding a buddy read and the Discord is there, so I won't repeat myself in this video, but I'll be reading All These Bodies in March. Next up is the book for the Trash for Mass read-along, which is Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. I am scared to read this. This is the first time the books get slightly bigger in the Throne of Glass series. So this one is looking at about 550 pages. I didn't really enjoy Air of Fire the first time I read it. It was my least favorite of the books so far, and it kind of put me into a do I really want to continue this series mood. So hopefully reading it with the read along is going to really motivate me to carry on and finally finish the Throne of Glass series. I can't tell you much about it because clearly we are book 3 in the series. I will link down below the Trash for Mass announcement video and our Throne of Glass live show. I will also link the Crown of Midnight live show. That hasn't happened at the time of this video, but you can go on there and set your reminder to watch it on the 5th of March, I believe. So I will be continuing the read along this month. You will see a Sarah J. Maas book in my TBRs for the next year, so get used to them. Next up, we have the Patreon buddy read. So every month, the top 2 tiers of my Patreon vote on a book from my physical TBR that we're going to read together. And this month, we're reading All That's Left Behind by Eric J. Brown. I don't know too much about this, but I know that I was recommended it after reading, not Timber Dark, that's book 2. I'll put the cover on the screen of what I'm talking about. I genuinely can't remember what it's called, or the author. So after I read that one, I was recommended this one. This says, Jamie and Andrew are strangers and two of the last people left alive. After a catastrophic event wipes out most of the population, Jamie finds himself alone in a cabin in the woods. He's learned to fear other desperate survivors, but when he meets the injured Andrew, Jamie is compelled to help. As they step out in the strange new world together, their friendship begins to feel like something more. Jamie and Andrew are hoping for safety, for shelter, for community, but ahead of them is a perilous journey through a world torn apart. They don't know what they'll find out there, but they may just find each other. This is YA. Not that it makes too much difference in my reading, but I think it does mean that I read them a little bit quicker. I have only heard good reviews for this book, so if you have any opinions, please do let me know, but this is what I am buddy reading with the patrons this month. And before I go on to another patron related thing, another buddy read this month is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Me and Emily are reading this together in March. I will link Emily's channel down below. I'm sure you're following her already, but if you're not, go and give her a follow. Obviously this is one of the most hyped books on BookTube, so I'm really hoping that I love it. I know a lot of people that don't read a lot of fantasy also love it. Let's just pray that I do. I will read the description for you because I actually don't hear people talk about what this book is about other than just it's V.E. Schwab, it's amazing. So it says, France 1714. A desperate woman makes a desperate deal in the dark, a bargain to live forever but be remembered by none. So begins the invisible life of Addie LaRue, shadow muse to artists throughout history, forgotten friend, confidant and lover, slipping away with the morning light. Addie passes through lives desperate only to leave a trace of herself, until the day she walks back into a small bookshop in Manhattan and meets Henry, who remembers her. After 300 years, Addie's life is restarting, but the devil never plays fair. As Henry and Addie's lives start to intertwine, they must face the consequences of the decisions they've made and the prices to be paid. So I feel like it still doesn't tell us a hell of a lot of what's going to be happening in this little chunky book. How many pages are we looking at? Yeah, about 550 again. So this is a heavy TBR this month. I've heard amazing things about this book from everyone, so I'm really hoping that I love it. And to circle on back to the patrons, we now have the Patreon TBR jar, which is the cup that I pick out of once a month, where the top 2 tiers of my patrons have put a book from my TBR that they'd like me to read. There is a real range of stuff in here. We have smutty romance down to Chernobyl non-fiction, so it really could be anything. Right, let's find out. We're going for this one, and again I'm doing the thing where I'm trying not to pause at all so you don't think I'm cheating. Is that what I think it is? It is Mona's pick, which is Magnolia Parks. Annoyingly, another chunky book, but I have wanted to read this for so long and I've just been finding an opportunity to do it. So yeah, this is 500 pages. Apparently it is English Gossip Girl. I can't actually find the blurb because all we have on the back is how many loves do you get in a lifetime. So I'm just going to roll into it only knowing this. I can't believe I just noticed the London like cityscape thing that's happening here. I'm kind of daunted to read this but excited at the same time. It's been hyped by so many people and I've already started collecting the series with Daisy Hates now as well, so hopefully this is as great as everyone says it is. And the final book I am putting on my TBR this month is Never Been Better by Leanne Toshiko Simpson. I am actually reviewing this book for the publisher and I need to do a proper Instagram review. It's been so long since I've done one of those, so I'm really grateful that this book has landed in my hands and that they are trusting me to do a review. So this does sound really interesting and really like heartbreaking. It says Dee, Misa and Matt were the 3 musketeers of the psych ward. A year after discharge, Dee is eager to convince everyone that she's finally turning things around. But Matt and Misa are tying the knot in Turks and Caicos, surrounded by guests who have no idea where they met, and the secrecy isn't sitting well with Dee, who has been hopelessly in love with Matt since before she got kicked out of the hospital. So when Dee arrives at the swanky resort with her high voltage sister Tilly, it's now or never to confess how she feels. But disrupting her best friend's nuptials would jeopardise the entire support system that holds the trio together. When it comes to happily ever afters, how is a girl supposed to choose between love and recovery? It sounds very moving, very emotional, and yeah, I'm very grateful to the fact that I'm being trusted to review this. Checking my notes, this comes out on March the 5th. And it's being published by Putnam. It's been described as my best friend's wedding meets the Silver Linings Playbook in this offbeat, heartfelt comedy about a seaside wedding where no one can stay afloat. I have high hopes, so let's see if I enjoy this. But there we have it. That is my entire set TBR for February, just excluding the final book support group readathon. I was hoping this was a small TBR and every book I pick up seems to be quite chunky or hard-hitting. So with the exception of all these bodies pretty much. Let me know if you have read any of these books or if you have any opinions on them. I'd be really grateful to hear them. But for now, that's all I have time for. So thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed and I will see you in my next one. Bye.